A few days ago, I had done a story on why Dharmendra Pradhan is unlikely to resign because he was important to the BJP, because he's important to the government, and he's important to the messaging that this government likes to send out, where they do not take public demands on resignations of their cabinet ministers. But a lot has changed in the last 4 days, specifically since that big protest on the 20th of July that ended in lathi charges by the police. So here are 5 reasons now, given everything that has changed, why Dharmendra Pradhan is likely to, in fact, resign. So, reason number one is that the Prime Minister himself has stepped in. Now, for nearly a month, when the NEET paper leak controversy escalated into a national protest and Sonam Wangchuk was on a hunger strike, the Prime Minister himself made no public statement on that issue. These student demonstrations grew, people were demanding the resignation, there was silence on the controversy from the Prime Minister's office. All of that changed this week. On the 22nd of July, while addressing the NDA members of parliament, the Prime Minister described examination paper leaks as a ghor paap, or a grave sin. And if that was not enough, immediately a day after, he has made another statement, and this time publicly on Twitter, where he said that they have set up fast track courts to establish who has done the paper leaks and to deliver justice. Now, we have to think about what this means politically. The Prime Minister actually speaking on a subject twice in 2 days. Means that they believe this is politically significant. Especially, you'll remember when the monsoon session started, he made a statement outside of Parliament, and there was no mention at all about the protest, about any of the things associated with the protest. So the first statement was actually conveyed by Kiran Rijiju, who is a union minister. The Prime Minister didn't make the statement directly. The second one has come directly from him. So there is an attempt here to reach out to young people and assure them that the government has their best interest in mind. And that tells us that the matter is now at the Prime Minister's desk, and this is something the government is paying very close attention to. So the government, then it was not just the Prime Minister. Immediately after that, Home Minister Amit Shah publicly endorsed that decision and said that the government is giving it highest priority. Parliamentary Affairs Minister Kiran Rijiju, the Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman, all of them were commenting on the fact that the government takes this very, very seriously. Two cabinet ministers, JP Nadda and Jitendra Singh, met Sonam Wangchuk. They have been speaking with Rahul Gandhi. They were reaching out to the Cockroach Janata Party. So the government's response over the last few days indicates a clear shift in strategy, that they're taking this very, very seriously, and they recognize the fact that this can actually roll into something much, much bigger. Second reason is now the slogans in these protests have become directly about the Prime Minister. After the police action on protesters, the conversation expanded beyond the NEET paper leak, and protesters now are talking about police excess, about government accountability, about democratic rights, and the young people demanding answers. The slogans have changed. Protesters have repeatedly described the mood as dar chala gaya. We're not afraid anymore. And that again is politically very, very significant. I want to draw a comparison to the farmers' protest. When the sloganeering during the farmers' protest was about the agriculture minister, and it was about the farm laws. It was not about the Prime Minister personally. But here, we've seen in the videos that we're looking at from various protests across the country, they're saying things like, मोदी जवाब दो, मोदी इस्तीफा दो, मोदी तुमसे ना हो पाएगा, तुम्हारी सरकार होश में आओ, things like that, which is unusual for contemporary India to have a protest that is directly addressing the Prime Minister. It is something that will not be lost on the government. They'll be paying very close attention to. And the slogan isn't asking for anything now, it is declaring something. It's basically saying we're not afraid anymore. The other interesting thing that this has turned into is mockery. And this is something that, again, is unusual, and it's a departure in tone from protests we've seen in India recently. There are no respectful requests and ideological speeches. They're now jokes. They're making jokes about politicians. They're making jokes about police officers. They're filming themselves laughing while they escape the barricades and the lathis. They're treating the protest itself as content, and there is an irreverence involved in the way that content is being made. So here's the thing, and this is why I'm bringing it up. Governments normally know very well how to respond to anger. They're not really sure how to respond to mockery. Mockery becomes more personal. It hurts differently. And it's something that they take more personally. And that is why I believe that as this thing steamrolls into a larger protest across the country, the tone changes very drastically. It's something the government will be paying very close attention to, because on one hand hangs in balance one union minister in the cabinet, and on the other hand, the reputation of the entire government. Now, point number three is that Parliament is completely disrupted. For several days, there's been no work happening in Parliament because the opposition is demanding that the minister resign first before they have any conversation. The government has offered a discussion in Parliament, but the opposition wants none of it. They're saying resign first and then we will talk. And on the other hand, remember Rahul Gandhi, Priyanka Gandhi Vadra doing the sit-in in front of the Prime Minister's house. The fact that the government responded so quickly to that sit-in, the fact that they're still protesting at this point and they're likely to continue protesting is something that the government is going to pay attention to. Remember, for this government, the monsoon session was really important. They have a lot of things on agenda that they need to pass in this session. They've been preparing for it for a while, but none of that has actually happened. There's been no discussion or delimitation. None of the bills have been tabled. It's been completely taken over by this NEET conversation and the demand for one resignation from Dharmendra Pradhan. How much longer is the government going to, actually ring fence him at this point if this is what is required? Now, reason number 4 is international media coverage. There have been a lot of people who are disappointed with the way the Indian television media has covered this, and that's a separate conversation. But international media is calling this a challenge to Prime Minister Modi himself. BBC, Associate Press, Washington Post, New York Times, Al Jazeera, South China Morning Post, they're all saying this is the largest challenge yet to Prime Minister Modi by this movement. The coverage is linking police action with the government. BBC reported that the government has not met protesters for weeks. New York Times and AP has said that Wangchuk's forcible removal from Jantar Mantar was a catalyst that transformed into a much larger mobilization. Washington Post and AP have highlighted that the movement's demands are now beyond the education minister's resignation, and it's gone into government accountability. Al Jazeera has called this a rare public challenge for Narendra Modi in his third term. So why does this matter? Now, this matters because the government has spent many years projecting India as a stable, confident global power, attracting investment and being a beacon of democracy in the global south and in the rest of the world. Now, for the longer that this international coverage continues about police crackdowns on students, violence by the police, excess youth-led protests that are asking for change, the government is not responding to it. It is going to affect how India is seen globally and how India is perceived globally, and the stability of this government as perceived by the rest of the world. Again, this is something the government cares deeply about, and this is the reason for why I believe that Pradhan's resignation might be closer than we had expected earlier. Reason number 5 was the reports that he was already vulnerable before the crackdown actually happened. There was talks of a cabinet reshuffle. We covered that. There was a lot of conversation that the education ministry could be given a new face, and he might leave the ministry and be moved to the BJP sort of planning team that actually plans for the elections that are coming, that he might be given a position in the BJP instead of the government. But taken all of this together, the size of the protest, the reasons, behind protecting him up till now, a lot of it has changed. And that is why I believe that Pradhan's resignation might be coming very soon. Now, remember, after Sonam Wangchuk was removed from the protest side, these are the various things that the government has done. They removed Sonam Wangchuk against his will and moved him to hospital. The police blocked the march to Parliament with lathis on the 20th of July. The fact that they used that kind of force, they used tear gas, they allegedly used pellet guns as well, and there have been injuries that have been reported, mass detentions, preventions of political leaders in meeting Wangchuk, large-scale restrictions on any marches, heavy security deployment. We understand now repeated internet suspensions around Jantar Mantar, including tonight. If you combine all of this information together, it does seem like the government's choices now are far more dire. On one hand is one minister that they may have shuffled out anyway on their own terms, and on the other hand, a growing protest that is now taking on the government's reputation, not just in India but also overseas. Are they likely to sacrifice all of that for one minister? Is Dharmendra Pradhan more likely to resign now than he was 5 days ago?